Welcome to the LifehackrDiet YouTube channel. I'm Paul Michaels, your host. Today we are going to talk about the simple and awesome Nudge app for iOS and Android.
LifehackrDiet.com. This is your last diet.
Today I'm going to talk to you and show you why Nudge app is awesome. I'm going to very quickly show you what other apps it connects with, and I'm going to show you what I've been able to achieve over the last couple of months using it. So what is Nudge app? Nudge app is an app that curates all the information that comes in from other apps like Fitbit, Up by Jawbone, Moves, Runkeeper, Strava, and MapMyFitness. And I'm sure there'll be others coming soon. And what it does is it takes all the information from those apps, and I'll just give you an example. Here's my Fitbit, and there's a lot of information here, and I can drill down and I can see even more information. And to the average person, this is kind of overwhelming, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. So the beauty of Nudge is it takes all that information into account, and it creates a single graphic that very easily shows you what you need to do to achieve your goals. So let's take a quick look at this graphic. This is just a screenshot because this was earlier in my Nudge career a couple of months ago, and I will show you kind of a live update later of where I'm at now. But in this snapshot, there is a circle with basically 4 quadrants on it. There are lines that make up the circle, and they are of varying thicknesses and also colors. So those are all factors that give you information about where you're at this point in time. So let's start with the yellow one on the left, which is my water. So you log how much water you drink, and over a 30-day period, and this is the way Nudge works, is it's not kind of an instant snapshot of you. It takes where you've been and how you've been improving over the last 30 days and gives you that number so that you're really getting an idea of where you need to improve. And so as you improve over the days of the month, your factors will change and you will become awesome, which is kind of fun. So at this point in time, I know that I'm actually doing okay with my water, which is over on the left, and it's yellow. So the colors go from red, yellow to green, and the thickness goes from thin to thick. So at this point, I know I'm doing well, not great, but well with water. I'm not doing very well with my food, which is the top part of the quadrant. As I move clockwise to the right, we see that my sleeping is better than my eating, but I still have a ways to go. And then as we go to the bottom, the 6 o'clock spot on the clock, my exercise, I'm doing better than my sleep and my food, but not quite as well as my water intake. So that's something I have to work on. Okay, and then the final part of the graphic is the nudge factor number, and I will just go into my Nudge app so that you can see how the numbers work. So there are 10 levels, and each of them has a title, all the way from Greenhorn to Legend, and basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to move up till you get to 110. And by improving your food intake, your water intake, your exercise, and your sleep, you will be able to achieve that. So this is where I'm at several months in. The highest you can achieve is 110. And you'll see that this is a chart of the last couple of months. And, I started off pretty low. I had some dips. Where did I start off at? I started off at 69, went down to 67, 63, 62. Then I started really getting into it, and I just went through the ceiling and made it up to 103. I made it up to 105, but I've been kind of sinking lately. So I'm almost there, but I'm sinking. It's a bit of a challenge at this point, because the one thing that I mess up on almost all the time, as you can see at the bottom, is my sleep. And that's something that I have to perpetually work on. So this gives you an idea. I started off way down there, and now I'm at 103. And I've figured out the exercise, I've figured out the water, I've figured out the food, and it's the sleep that I'm challenged with. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how the main graphic works. Now, what's really special about this app is it's got a very Zen feel to it, a very Zen cycle, if you like, because in the morning my nudge factor gets updated. So first thing in the morning I turn on my phone, I go to nudge, and I want to see where I'm at, you know, if I've improved or not. And then from there, I know what I have to work on. So I know today that I have to work on my sleep. If we go back to my previous screenshot here, I had to work on pretty much everything. So, you know, you can take one thing at a time, or you can kind of do a little bit of everything, whatever works for you. So that is the morning ritual. So I know what I need to work on that day. The evening ritual, I go into the logging. All right, and here's the logging. It's very satisfying, because all you do is press on the circles, and I do this in the evening after I've, you know, I'm in bed and I'm just kind of reviewing my day, and I go over how much water I've had that day. I average about 10 glasses of water. Of course, I'm going to have my coffee, and I have my smoothies, so I'm going to call that 2 juice. But you'll see that the number and the color green changes, so it goes from red to yellow, and then into green. On average, I'm about 5 or 6 servings of fruit a day, probably about 2. And what I would do is, I'm just guessing it now, but I would actually review in my head what I ate and be honest and legit about this, because you're not going to fool your body. And I usually have 2 or 3 proteins a day. I like my nuts. And as you see, I went from red to yellow to green. And it has my footsteps so far today, and that is from Fitbit. And it also has my sleep today, and as you can see, it's a poor showing. But again, that's something I have to work on. But it's yellow, because I'm not doing so well at that. And then indulgences is just kind of for you. I like my dark chocolate, so I probably have it 2 or 3 times a day. So I'm going to put that in. And then I like this. It gives you an idea. It gives you a way of rating how you feel that day, from zombie all the way to in the zone. And I usually kind of float around even keel, on the odd day peppy, and then the odd day mall walker. So I'm going to go back to even keel. And then my weight is at the bottom. And again, that comes from Fitbit. So what this does is, in the morning, you get a clear idea of what you have to work on that day. And then in the evening, you get to review your day. And you get to kind of figure out what you did well and what you didn't do well, and what you want to work on the next day. And there have been studies that show that by journaling, and this is a form of journaling, by journaling you are actually reducing your stress and having a very clear idea of how to reach your goals. And that's what's so beautiful about Nudge, is it gets it on both ends. Your morning, you know what you need to do. Your evening, you're reviewing your day, and you're being thankful for the good things you did and understanding what you need to change the next day. So very smart approach, very simple, fun, and just really easy to use. The apps syncing is here, and right now I'm just syncing with my Fitbit, but there are several choices for syncing, and you can use any one of those. And I'm sure they will be changing as time goes on. It's just natural for apps to add more functionality. Remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life, so make it a great one. Check out LifehackrDiet.com, and we'll speak to you soon. Have a great day.
Most diets are like going on a trip. The food is different, your activities are different, and then it ends. You fall back into your old ways, and the diet fails. LifehackerDiet.com is different because you make small changes to your lifestyle that get results. When you hit your goal, your lifestyle has been reinvented by you, and change is permanent. LifehackerDiet.com. This is your last diet.